Harmony. Let me just get these optics. I'm sorry. Oh, that was a big move. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know I always tell y'all that before you go live, for those that are my fellow streamers, that before, or bloggers or podcast holders, whatever you call yourself when you're up on the platform of YouTube, the platform users for YouTube, you cannot see yourself. They do not let you check things out before you go live. You can see a blurry, vague, black and white image of like the going live type of countdown, but you cannot see yourself until it is live. And I hate that because I am a little bit of a perfectionist. And so when the angles are off and I'm all like, see, I'm all half out the screen. I can't see all that stuff before I get on. But I'm here. You are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your love, your light, and your patience. Mommy Mercy is greatly always appreciated and received around these parts. I do always forget to like clear my workstation before I get over here. Because when I'm working and I'm doing just my regular career work, my 9 to 5 work, I don't move as much as I do when I'm doing this work. Because in this work, I get very motivated. You know, I'm just passionate about my stuff. So I'm like, move your stuff. Like, move your little paperworks and files and things so you can move. Peace, mama. Peace and happy birthday to Baba. Happy birthday weekend to Baba. Birthday blessing. Shout out to my Aunt Desiree. She had a birthday party this weekend. We're in Libra season. People are getting out. You guys are blessed with a beautiful birthday weekend. I am born in February, so it is always cold during my birthday. It is never like this outside. So blessings to all of you who get to have like a warm, sunshiny birthday. Now, we can, what Jay say, we can ride first class to change the forecast come February the 6th. But if you don't do that, it's cold around here. So happy birthday to you all. And again, welcome to a Moment of Harmony. So here in our moment, I was thanking everyone for your patience today. Those that are tuning in at regularly scheduled times, those that are live in the chat, welcome and love and light to you. So very grateful for you all. But we are coming in a little later than 10 than we normally would, or our normally scheduled time, because I have a sickling in the house this morning. Even my throat is a little bit sore, but I did not have time to make any tea. But I am going to make tea for me and the little one today. But I have a little sickling because we did get out into the elements yesterday. We got out into the playground and things. And she bites her nails all the time. And I swear once a week we're working on her immune system. Okay, well, we're working on it all the time, but we're dealing with the challenges of being in kindergarten and biting your nails. So definitely thank you so much for all your patience. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, we are in our 19th week of our meiotic series, Meiotic Moments. Ding. We are at episode number 19 and law number 19. We are moving through the 42 laws of Mayat. For those that are unfamiliar with Mayat, it is an ancient Kemetic practice used by many people still to this day, as civilization was being constructed, as behavioral systems were being put into place. This is one of those very supreme behavioral systems put into place. And again, whatever philosophy and walk of life you come from, wherever you subscribe, I promise you that light is in the middle of it, peace is in the purpose, and we are all going to be able to be better people with the respect and love for ways of life that are ours, that relate to ours, and even those ways that aren't ours that we can just understand in order to better coexist. But really, these laws are spiritual laws, or spiritual practices that really are more centered around our character and our behavior. And so it's really more about being your better self, being in the best position within yourself, elevating yourself to the highest level of operation. And the greatest way to do that is really not to only be be present for our external, like what are you wearing, are you processing your hair or not, or what are you eating, are you vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian, you eat everything. Those things are important to your personal preferences. They're important to your personal way of life and living and your makeup. But also, as equally important, if not more, is how you are as a spirit, how you are as a person, how you behave, how you exchange. And in this world, the energy that you consist of and the energy that you exude is a greatly tied to what it is you bring in. And so this has become one of my favorite umbrellas that a Moment of Harmony has had under the umbrella of a Moment of Harmony. This has been one of my favorite series. That's what I'll say. One of my favorite series under a Moment of Harmony, because I'm always wanting to get to the point of it all. You know, the point of it all. I'm happy that you have your customs. I'm happy that there are rituals. Trust me, I believe greatly in mine. I'm happy that you have your way and your walk. Is your walk a kind walk and a good walk for yourself as well as the walking with of others, right? Peace and praise and power to everyone. So that is why I'm just so excited, because my favorite thing is like, but how are we though? You know what I'm saying? How are we? I know what you do and don't do. I know what your standards are. I know what your rules are. I know where you came from. But how are you? As an individual, as a spirit, and as a light, where are you? And our ancestors have developed extremely amazing points and perspectives for us to be able to look into to see, are we right on point with being our best selves in this realm, as above, so below, in this realm, as in alignment to our spiritual realm. So, we're in maiatic moments. The moment for this week is entitled, I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not falsely accused anyone. Law number 19, episode number 19, week number 19 of this series. I have not falsely accused anyone. Woo chat woo. Okay. I know, listen, they always are so heavily weighted for me, because when it comes to the way that we interact and exchange and engage in this life, it has so many complexities, so many intricacies, that it is so easy to quickly be like, no, I don't, wouldn't, have not ever. And it's also so easy to be on the other side of them. So our behavior is just a weighted thing, right? It is something to be careful and intentional and move through very seriously about, very carefully moved about. Not to be cavalier, not to be arrogant, not to be gullible, naive either, but to really be sincere and intentional about looking into your spirit, into looking into the center of self, to check that self is centered, so that I can be centered within the universe and that I can be one in the motion of things. So, and dang sure you want to be one, but you definitely don't want to be against the motion of things. Many of us are just out of line and out of order, and so we are not centered with the bigger picture of all of greatness, right? Of beingness. But then there are those that are not only not centered, but they are deliberately and intentionally going against. They are wreaking havoc, the causes of confusion and chaos. You fall. If you in that range, you far from just honing your skills and tightening yourself in order to be your better self. You got to come from the further, and get into self at all, or in the first place, and then strengthen self and move forward. Either way, no matter where you are, it's all possible as long as you're willing and ready to move forward in that direction. And if you're here today, you're willing and ready. And if you came for some foolishness, guess what? You came in a place where I'm willing and ready enough for us all. Okay? So that was not to my moment exchangers. That was for those that do come for foolishness and they don't come for the light and end up getting some light on them anyway. Look at that. Y'all see how the light shows as soon as look at it. End up getting some light on them anyway. Look at ya. Look at you just vicariously being blessed by the rest. Okay. So I have not falsely accused anyone. This one hits so home. Okay? Because your girl is unique, right? I can be a very Now, everybody's not an astro head, but if you're into the alignments and the planets and all those things, like I love the sciences of the universe, I have two different rulers when it comes to like the planets, right? You're not into that, don't pay no attention to it. Don't worry about it. Here's the thing. Regardless of what you want to say the reason is, or how I got to be the way I am different. Now, we all are different in our own regard. We all can be very unique in our own lanes. There are a lot of us that could be the black sheep of the family, or, just the weird one, I can be what you can see is a walking contradiction, right? The things that I'm interested in, sometimes they cross over and they can align, like, you like this, you want to do that, you're into that, you pay attention to that. Different. That's the word I'm going to use. Very different. And one of the biggest things, or one of the issues I faced throughout my entire youth, now I embrace it. It's not an issue for me anymore. But growing up, it was such a problem. One of the biggest problems was just being misunderstood. Your girl, that's what I want to say. I'm unboxable. You cannot put me in a box. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, as soon as you think you got me figured out, you don't. I'm going to say something, be into something, take part in something, be interested in something, create something, envision something that is so far different than what you would have expected, because I'm unboxable. So being that type of individual, there was a lot of times where I would just remain quiet. There are a lot of people that may have known me in my youth or my childhood that was like, Harmony was very introvert. She's very quiet. She's very to herself. Unless, of course, I was at home with family where I was comfortable. But in school or out playing, I did not have a lot of friends. And a lot of people, like, she was just very to herself. And there would be a lot of people today that's like, what? She was to herself? Because I'm such a social butterfly. But there would be people but the reason I was like that is because I never felt safe and I never felt understood. I always felt like weird, strange, different. Always. And that always left so much room to be misunderstood, misinterpretation of my spirit, of myself, of who I am. And that was just so hard on me as a child. I just always felt out of the box, different from everyone. Now, now that I'm an adult, that has only quadrupled. Like, the things that I'm into, or the things that I'm interested in, the things that I want to take part in, the things that mean something to me, move me, invest in, all those things, extremely, they special things, okay? And if you start out looking in one direction, you won't see me in another direction, and it will shock you. So, all of that to say is, being misunderstood has led me to so many misconceptions and false accusations on me, on my intentions, on my actions, and flat out being lied about, conspired against, gossiped about. Just some people maybe genuinely trying to figure me out and putting me in small concepts that they constructed, or people just really not being able to understand or appreciate the eccentricity of your girl and just exaggerating or manipulating the truth. Either way, it has been one of the reasons why I keep a very close circle. I keep a very tight circle. I am very, very limited when it comes to the dating life. Like, I am just open in my gift and in my purpose. I move as the creator asked me to move. But when it comes to who I am, child, I am not. Because what I do know is that if you are not open and receptive and genuine yourself, you will greatly misinterpret me. And when peace, my love, and when it comes to this law, we are not only doing this to each other, on a broad and general, if I get my words together, broad and general scales, like politics and celebritism and anything, conspiracy theorists. Like, we're not only just giving out broad thoughts and accusations to things that may not be true, or perpetuating things that may not be true, we also are doing these to people that we so called love, are related to, are connected to, are growing with, are building with. We are doing these same things. And our ancestors are saying, no, 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 no. Do not falsely accuse anyone. What a grave and horrible disaster, a mistake to do, to take a being that is and paint them as something they are not. One of my greatest heartbreaks. I promise you. Only if I'm close to you, though. Let me not and motivate the haters to think that it matters if you do it. What I'm saying is, when I love and I'm connected and I open up to someone, which takes a lot. It is a great heartbreak to be misunderstood, to be falsely perceived, and even more, to be actually falsely accused. To do that, again, is egregious. To do it is assault of the character of someone else. And again, we're not only doing it broadly to people we've never met, which is a little weird, but we're also doing it to people that we love, that we care about, that we're close to, or that we're pretending to be close to. Some people, which is even further than weird. It's egregious at that point, right? So we're going to get all up into this law today, why we should stray away from doing these types, having these types of behaviors, or displaying these types of dysfunctions if we are. And again, I know that there are going to be a number of people that's like, I don't lie on people. I don't go around here saying people did stuff they didn't do. But listen, Linda. Many of us are spouses, we are mothers and fathers, we are co-workers or business owners, we are brothers and sisters in the community or in the works together. And we have said something that we think to be true that we may not have seen for ourselves. Well, they said, or I heard from, or I saw on, right? Or we have not trusted someone for whatever reason, from something that's going on inside of us, or something that they've done in the past, or just the mere I know with my children, just the mere nature of being a child, or the mere nature of being a teenager. I'd be like, are you sure you did that? Are you sure? Right? So we come in and we have second guesses. And nothing is wrong, I think, when you're parenting, we're working through understandings of what is and what isn't. It's when we charge someone with what isn't, and when we treat them accordingly for what isn't, and we don't have any proof for what isn't. Right? And I'm saying it is an easy thing to go to be from, why didn't you answer my phone when I'm talking to my teenager? Why you didn't answer the phone when I called you? Oh, my phone was on silent, or I didn't. And then I might go another extra mile and say, no, it wasn't on silent. You were outside doing what you wanted to do. You weren't paying to the phone. Listen, it's so easy because many of us have experiences, and our experiences are our wisdom, and we use our wisdom to reason and navigate. And sometimes you will use your reason to misinterpret and manipulate. So our ancestors saying, oh, check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself in relation to yourself and others. We always talk about this in the meiotic moments. Our ancestors' laws are heavily constructed around the way we treat others. These are laws about bettering ourselves, laws about being greater versions of ourselves, about being a highest operation of in civilization. But they are greatly centered around the way we treat others. There is no coincidence that almost every law about being your best self is about how you treat someone else, right? It is your greatest test of character. It is your greatest test of being, is how you show up. Because you can't show up as something that you aren't. And our ancestors are letting us see that if you treat people this way, you are this way. Bump what you believe that you are behind closed doors. Bump who you say you are. Bump what you believe or you paint yourself. The profile that you put in social media or dating apps or working programs or whatever bios when we were doing certain projects, but what you say about yourself, how you show up to the people around you. I always tell you this, I always say this in a moment of harmony. As a harmony original, I always say we come through a human for humans. We come through a human with other humans for the humankind. We come out here into this world and we are honed and we are built and we are created and we are strengthened and we are leveled up with the other humans we came in to this world to be a part of. So, and our ancestors, they say that. They listen, they backing it. They're saying, listen, I have not falsely accused anyone. Our thing is always, listen, the law is always about someone, another individual that we're showing up as ourselves. So, it is a horrible, horrible thing. I have not falsely accused anyone. Now, to falsely accuse is to lie, right? A false accusation is really a whole lie. And the law could have stopped at that. Like, I just don't falsely accuse, or I haven't been false. The law is not just saying I'm not lying. The law is specifically saying I'm not lying on anyone. I'm not lying on anyone, which means that we're taking the degree of a lie or dishonesty to a whole nother level, right? So we're saying, that's saying, it's one thing for you to lie. It's not that we good with that. That's not good for your character either. Work on that. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to others, and work on it. But this law specifically is saying, not only we're not saying don't lie, we're saying you don't take it the extra mile and then lie on someone else. And we've seen throughout history the countless accounts of trauma and complete tragedy. Rosewood to be an example of a false accusation. We know that especially those of color and African descent have been at the brunt of many public scandals. We have been at the center of many scandals of lies of it was a black man, or lies of it was two black men, because something small happened and people will believe me if I take this route. And it has caused atrocities, pointless, undeserving, unnecessary death, havoc, chaos from a lie on a person. I know in the 90s there was the woman that drowned her two babies. I think they were like 2 and 1. She had 2 baby boys. She locked them in the car seat. She drowned them. I cannot think of her name right now. She started the car. She put the car in the water, ditched her car, and drowned her babies in it. Because she was trying to, I think, leave her husband and go be with somebody else, what have you. And when she told people, she was hijacked. Her car was hijacked. Her babies were stolen. And it was a black man. And it was a manhunt. And all of the hood, all the neighborhoods where they could find this man that met her description. It is the tale as old as time. Okay. And these are just the broader, more general consequences of false accusation. What it does to people, what it does to the fabric of communities, what it does to the liar themselves. And more importantly, what it does to the image, even when things are being found out like someone is lying, but what it does to the image. I remember recently there was the hoax of the housewife that ran away to be with her lover in another state, and she came back home after a month or so and was saying she had been being held captive by 2 Hispanic women. Detectives tore up the Hispanic community, and Hispanic people were afraid to leave their homes. They were getting pulled over. All this time she was out doing some crazy stuff on her own, escaping the housewife life where she didn't feel appreciated or seen, and ran away to get attention and all the craziness. But the havoc of the false accusation It lingers on the spirits of those that it affects. And trust me, as above, so below. If there is anything lingering in the spirit realm on your behalf, excuse me, it's lingering in your physical life as well. And that's not a great thing. If you want something hanging out in the spiritual realm, you want it to be good and positive and great. Trust me. Okay, so let's go into the importance. Okay, we're going to go into getting some tools for this law, some perspectives and things to just help us be better when it comes to these types of behaviors, help us to avoid individuals that have not grown out of these behaviors, and help us to understand the relevance and the importance of the directions that our ancestors were pushing us into so that we can be comfortable where we are in GAA too. Shout out to BLM in our way, right? Being in our way, in our space, the way that works for us. Okay, so the first part of this, I have not falsely accused anyone, that is important for us to keep in mind is we talked about our five senses. We've talked about them throughout the moments. We talked about them the last time. We talked about the ability to hear and the ability to listen and the divine power in hearing. All five of our senses, or six senses for those of us, in the spiritual six, those all five senses have spiritual force behind them. Right? They all have a divine, they all could possess a divine element of awareness. This is why they become so amazing to our growth and our development and our becoming. They all possess, yes, physically you can touch, but spiritually you can touch and be touched. If physically you can see, spiritually you can see and be seen. Okay, so all of our five senses have a spiritual or divine force behind them that attach us to the that not only make us aware in this world, help us operate in this world with ease and protection and the ability to learn and absorb and become, but they attach us very supremely and divinely to our spiritual selves. Your five senses are more than operation, they are divine. They are to be nurtured, they are to be cared for, they are to be honed, they are to be honored, they are to be respected. Okay? With that being said, if there is power in hearing, there is also great power on all five senses. There is great power in speaking. We are endowed as reflections of the Creator to be able to speak things that are not as if they were in order to have them become. We are endowed as reflections and one with the divinity. I don't have on my GNMAs today, but one with creation. We are endowed with the ability to speak things as though they speak things that are not as though they were in order to create things as they should be, right? Or as they can be, or make them and speak them into being. We have that divine gift. So yes, in the physical, I can speak. I can communicate. This, yes, in the physical is a survival mechanism. It is a tool for conveying. It is a tool for connection, right? In the physical realm, it is very useful practically. But in the divine realm, it is extremely powerful spiritually. As above, so below. We are spirits having a human experience. Shout out to Professor Graff. Okay? So, when you use your power of speech, your ability to speak things into existence, and you choose to speak untruths, your tongue has become a traitor to creation. I'm sorry, y'all. They're getting us all sick, and I'm just, the more I talk, the more I'm feeling all the craziness come up. Please forgive, okay? Your tongue has become a traitor to creation. When you are speaking things that are not as if they were in a negative, manipulative, dishonest way, You are again in an abuse of authority, and your tongue has become a traitor to creation. It is working against the creation of all things light, powerful, productive. It is a deceiver of what is. And in being a deceiver of what is, you are a traitor. Your tongue is now the traitor to creation. It has betrayed creation. It was intended for one thing. You're using it for another thing, and it is extremely detrimental and harmful because you possess a power to create. So now, when you create a narrative of someone, when you push on an accusation onto someone, when you push an accusation onto someone, you assign them an identity. This is why we name our children. We give each other nicknames. We compliment and affirm each other because we are assigning attributes. When you are negatively assigning, you don't understand the assignment. And you have assigned someone something that is against creation, against their mission, against their purpose, and against what's right. So the tongue has become a traitor when you have taken, and a lot of us, I know that sounds extreme, right? It sounds like we out here just saying people did stuff they didn't do. It doesn't have to all. Now, some people are doing that. I told you, your girl. I've been a part of some crazy things. You know what I'm saying? Some people are doing that. But I'm not even talking about on the massive to the collective. I'm not even saying that that's all of us. I'm saying as simple as exaggerating the truth, giving an account of something and taking it a bit further for a dramatic effect. Repeating something that you know didn't happen or you don't know to have happened in order to be a part of a conversation or again to paint a narrative that you have had inside your head. Misunderstanding, not taking the time to accurately do research or understand, speak to, or find out what's going on, and going out and giving out a consensus or a report or a synopsis of a situation that you are not fully aware and equipped to be conveying. I'm saying there are many ways. It doesn't have to be again, the end of the spectrum where you just out here lying on people. Again, you can be exaggerating the truth. You can be manipulating others. You want people to feel sorry for you. You want people to be on your side. You want people to hear things as you saw things and your experience, even though your experience may not have been the accurate 100% truth, full picture of that experience. That is a false accusation on others. If you are manipulating, stretching the truth and the way things are or the way things were or what actually took place, you are leaving bits and pieces out intentionally to make your side appear a certain way or just to have your perspective to be seen. Our ancestors say your tongue has now become the traitor. Your tongue is now a traitor to its intention of speaking life, of creating what isn't. Because now you have created falsehood. You have defamed character. You have disturbed or distorted. That is why this law is such a big one for me, right? Being born the way that I am, right? Being the way that I am, okay? When people don't understand something, they will either distort it or destroy it. Nine times out of 10, very few divine souls will embrace with their besties on the line. Shout out to my bestie. Very few divine souls will embrace what is different, will embrace what is complex, would embrace what has you scratching your head from time to time. Most individuals, especially in a patriarchal, westernized society, distort and destroy that which is not easily understood. easily apprehended or easily mutable, easily controlled, easily digested or consumed. We'll break it on down. That's just kind of, the way of the land. Just break it down what you don't understand. Break down what's not like you. Break down what doesn't compute in your reality to make it fit. My whole life. Yeah, this is literally my whole life. Instead of rising or attempting to rise to understand what you don't, you would rather have me fit into a limited understanding of what you do. Ooh, child, I don't like that. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because that brings me to my next point. What that then does to others is put them in a prison of your perspective. You begin to make others a prisoner of your perspective. And again, it sucks and it's weird on the large scale. For all of us to act like we know these people we never met. Like I talk about celebrities and people in the news and situations. We don't really know all of everything. Unless you're taking the time to sit and do your research. Some people are. I'm a huge researcher. Bessie's on the line and she'll tell you I will sit up all night to completely and thoroughly understand something that I'm interested in before I develop an entire thought frame around it and make it relative to life, living, liberation, and growth. But I'm about to get up in it. I'm going to take it into my lab and we are going to go ahead and die. Everyone doesn't do that, right? Everyone's not doing that about the general things that you're making opinions and thoughts and accusations and perspectives about. But even worse, you're not doing it about the people right around you. The people that you say you love, the people that you say you are interested in, the people that you say that you care about, the people that you say you're growing with, building with, bonding with. You gonna go ahead and stay in your small mind, what you've seen before, what you've heard before. Have mercy on people who get stuck in things that they've only experienced. You know you cannot. Do you understand that the world is as vast as the Creator? As a matter of fact, Creator is even more vast. His intention, his or her or whomever you decide, wherever you go with that, the Creator's intention is vast and limitless. Creation is limitless. And everything in alignment with creation, used as a tool of creation, is limitless. Love, limitless. Creation, limitless. These things are all like have no cap. But you got people out here capping about things that don't have no cap. So you have people out here who have only experienced a certain level of life. And they will base everything in life off of the experience they've had on life. You know how much life you've lived? I don't care if you're 80. Do you know how much life you've lived as in comparison to how big life is? And instead of growing and understanding, having unconditional faith and flexibility in thought, and instead of even trying to come outside of yourself to understand, oh, you know why, we have young people at my job, okay? Like I'm talking young 20s, early 20s, young. And we all approach them with such grace. We all approached him like none of us put. This is one thing I do. I love many things about my job. Shout out to everyone in our park. I love all my people. I have a super blessed to have an extraordinary job and work with extraordinary people, and probably the happiest I've ever been at work. Right. So thank you to the Creator. But this is what I'll say. We have some young people in my office because your girl is 38, so I'm getting up there with some of the other ages. But we have some like early 20s, like babies, like just got in their 20s, babies. And sometimes they do early 20s things. And we all will just, none of us will be like, oh, they're lazy. They're taking their job for granted. They don't appreciate. You know what it is? You don't appreciate nothing this generation. That's a false accusation on people. And that's what I mean by sometimes people believe that these laws go over our heads. People believe that if you're not doing the extreme of a law, that you're not in operation of any degree of the law. That's not true at all. And our ancestors want to cleanse us of that all or nothing, because it is stunting our abilities to grow into the all, right? When you're in this all or nothing, it doesn't allow you space to process and grow. So get about the all or nothing when it comes to the perspectives and the lives of others. There is a lot of growth and development in the process, in the in between. And you are not, like you say, either so gullible or impatient or naive to be in the nothing, or so arrogant to only operate in the all, right? So our ancestors say no, but they will say that they don't appreciate their jobs. That's a fault. You're out here falsely accusing these people. You don't know what they appreciate. Have you talked to them? Here's the thing. You have, they are, life is lifing. So maybe there's some things they don't understand. Maybe there's experiences they don't have. And you will hear some people like, well, when I was their age, I'm always doing that to my young adult children. When I was 20 or 18, that doesn't mean that the perspective you're putting on them is accurate. Yes, at 20 years old, I was a mother. I was a wife. So when I see my 20-year-old still being like, mom, mommy, mom, I need, I'm like, but here's the thing. I'm getting ready to make him a prison of my perspective. Because I'm getting ready to paint a narrative from my understanding. I'm about to put him in my narrative, which will be inaccurate for him, which is false. It can happen just like that, people. I'm saying this, it can be just that quick, just that easy, that you falsely accuse someone, or that, because accusing someone is just a charge. You're charging someone. So here's the thing. When you charge someone is to charge them. So when you charge someone and commit them to the prison of your perspective, you are doing such a disservice to the reality and the truth of what is in that person and within yourself. Remember, we talked about how you can't cause harm to anyone without harming yourself first. You can't curse anyone without first cursing yourself. I have to hear the words before, when I say the words, they hit my ears. Same as, if not before, they hit someone else's. Mommy Mercy, Mommy streaming live. I can't do it right now. Sorry about that, y'all. She thinking she whisper. And then it's not going to interfere with what I'm, and it is. Okay, so you charge someone, right? You're charging someone with whatever. If you've been, like I said, you've been in a relationship, Lord child, you've been in relationships and you're having to deal with the insecurities. You're having to deal with the projections of others. You're having to be able to deal with this piece. You're having to deal with the other people's issues being charged on you. What ends up happening when you charge someone, when you accuse someone, because really accusation is a legal term for the most part. If you look it up, it's mainly used for court terminology. It actually says something like to accuse of a crime or something to that, to charge with a crime or something to that nature, right? The word accuse has such a legal foundation to it. So let's go with the legal foundation, right? If you are charging someone with something, or if they are lazy, or they are lying, or they are incompetent, they are whatever. I mean, if you've been in an unhealthy relationship, you've been accused. If you've been unhealthy in a relationship, you've passed accusations from your fears, from your insecurities, from your own internal thoughts and behaviors, okay? If you have been a parent, if you're a parent and you've had trauma in your childhood, you've been accused, right, of feeling or thinking a certain way. Back in the day, we would dance and the older people would call us fast. We weren't thinking nothing about a man or a thing or nothing like that. But we're being accused of being fast or wanting to catch the attention of men. Never were, right? And so if you have that type of trauma, you might grow up as a parent, you might pass those traumas, those accusations on to your own children. Or because you were skipping school, they must have been skipping school. Or because you were faking sick to stay home, they must be faking sick. I'm not saying that none of the stuff is never real. What I'm saying is the ancestors are asking you to check yourself before you get comfortable in false accusation, before you are consistent in falsely accusing others. So, because you are assigning someone a narrative. That is a big deal when you have the ability to paint a picture, to create a reality, and you are doing it from a negative vibration. You are doing it from fear, hate, anger, resentment, jealousy, insecurity. Ancestors say, no, 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 no. While you in this space, you keep your tongue and your mouth quiet, because your tongue will quickly trade on you when your mind is playing games on you. Your tongue will quickly, mommy is streaming and can't hear you, mommy mercy. Your tongue will quickly trade on you when your mind is playing games on you. Be centered and well. Stay centered and well. Get out of your fear. Get out of your feelings. Get out of your history. Get out of your trauma. Get out of the dysfunction of your upbringing and your environment, because it is causing you to trade your tongue to become a traitor. And the thing is, once you start creating chaos, that is then all you have. You can't go stir up a pot of poison. Listen, you cannot create poison in your home without being the first one to be exposed to it. So you start to charge. Here's the thing with people that charge people inaccurately, accuse people, make people a prisoner of their perspective of them. First off, don't let nobody do that to you. And I am saying, I have had plenty of day where you just love someone so much, and so you deal with it and you stay with it and you hope they get better, and you just keep trying to prove to them that you are who I am, whoever I say I am. If I wasn't, do I would? You know what I'm saying? You doing that dance all day long. I don't care who you are connected to. I don't care if it's your boss, your husband, your wife, your child, even tell my children when they go to school. You will not be a prisoner of the perspective. If this person have a bias, if this person have a collective understanding of black boys or what y'all do and what y'all think, you won't be locked in behind their perspective. You won't be locked into their trauma. You don't let anyone charge you, because when you charge, you're assigning a narrative. You won't assign me when you don't understand my assignment. You don't understand who I am, how I am, how I've come to be who I am, what I am destined to become. So therefore, if that is not something you are intending to understand, to comprehend, do not speak on me. Do not speak on me. Do not speak on things you're not willing to do the work to truly cleanse yourself of a falsehood inside of self that is being now projected on others. So, first off, when it comes to charging someone, I charge you as this. you are a bad mother or a bad father, or you are a liar, or you are a cheater, or you are lazy, or, what have you, right? You are broke, or, before you get on with no proof, no, not just your own warped sense of understanding and lack of limitations in life. Before you get onto that with others, understand that you are charging people. And if we're in the court of law, once you charge someone, you have become the judge, the jury, and the court. I can remember some years ago, my son had gotten arrested. My oldest son had gotten arrested. And he had gotten arrested because he was indicated by a friend, and a friend who was arrested, who was trying to go for a plea deal. My son was indicated. When I walked into the scene, I had gotten there after my son was arrested, but there were a number of detectives there. And the detective told me, he said, I walked in and I was frantic, right? And I'm just like, because the charge they're trying to charge my son with was horrific. It was one of the worst charges anyone could have. So I was just like, what is going on here? Like, my son just went to work this morning. Like, I don't know what is happening. And he was a nasty detective. He was a brother, unfortunately, if I can call him that. He was so nasty to me. I was in tears. I was confused. This is my child, even though he was 18 at the time. He was my kid. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are there like 20 detectives here? What's happening? Tell me what took place. Why did y'all take my son? And he looked at me. He was like, don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Your son did what he said he did, and your son is going away for a long time. So trust me, it was him. I said, what are you talking about? They talking about something that had taken place 2 years ago. I'm trying to really get information. Peace King. I'm trying to really get information as to like what they're talking about. And Amur was on the line. I know he remembers that night, him and Pudge both. That night we went up there and the detectives were discussing. But the main one, he was like, don't you worry. He did what we're arresting him for, and you're not going to see your son ever again. He's going away for a very long time. Needless to say, my son was completely acquitted of any charges. He was charged not guilty of that in that situation. And this person was extremely wrong. He was very wrong. But if I was a lesser woman, with the conviction that he spoke with the anger and the rage that he encountered me with, I could have went out and did some drugs. I could have went out and committed suicide. He told me, don't worry about what did and didn't happen. They are going to be peace. Don't worry about what did and didn't happen, because he did it and he's going to be gone. This was a false accusation. And it could have had some extreme ramifications. And in that moment, before a fair and speedy trial, America, and in that moment, that detective, he had attempted to become the judge, the jury, and the trial. I mean, the judge, the jury, and what is it? Judge, jury, I guess judge and the jury, right? Defense, state, I don't know. But the judge and the jury. Okay, we'll leave it at that. He'd attempted to come in and be the judge and the jury with his false accusation. So he was sitting there and let me know that this was what was being accused, this is what it is, and this is going to be the result, all in one person. I give you that story. It was true. It is a true story. And actually, as God would have it, the day my son was acquitted and not charged, that detective was in the courtroom and salty. So I just want to add that, because won't he do it? Okay. The next thing I give you that story is because many of us become the judge and the jury on each other. We accuse each other. We hold each other, the prosecutor. There you go, boo. This is what a bestie is for. You got to keep a hitter to the left of you, especially when you get into the Perry days. Oh my gosh. The mind just does its own thing. Okay, so the judge, jury, and the prosecutor. He had become all of that. And we will do that to each other. We won't try to take the time to understand. We won't do a due process of diligence. We will just make up our mind based on our issues, based on our perspectives, based on the limited experiences, based on our traumas, and we will try people in the court of the public and we'll convey. And our ancestors say, how does that make you a better person? How does that make you a more honest, accurate person, a more streamlined individual? It doesn't. It works against you. You have let your tongue become a traitor in creation, in the process of creation. So, yes, you do, boo boo. We got each other. So, um, when you are connected to people like this, when you have someone who becomes the judge and the jury and the prosecutor on your life, you are setting yourself up for such disharmony, pun intended, such destruction, and distortion. Because what did I say? In the hands of the wrong person and someone who is not willing to be open and receptive, go through the process and listen to the Creator. In the hands of the wrong person, if you are misunderstood, you will be distorted or destroyed. That will be their only attempts to digesting you. So then you become charged by someone who doesn't understand, someone who doesn't see, someone who doesn't know. What a lethal and dangerous person, individuals, constitution, organization, institution, period, to be connected to. People who don't see you or know you, but are willing to paint a picture about you. Someone who has never, or something that have never understood you, but are willing to paint a picture about who you are and then sell that painting. When you are in the court of law, because we're talking about the word accused having a very legal foundation to it, when you are actually in the court of law, you are to be tried by a jury of your peers. So why then are we being tried when you have people around you that don't know you, that gossiping about you? You have people around you that haven't walked your walk, haven't had a conversation with you, haven't taken the time out, haven't taken the time out to be a part of what you're going through. Do not deeply or genuinely, receptively, and openly come into your situation to see what is and what isn't. They just want a narrative they can sleep with at night that makes them look and feel a certain way, and it's a lot more about them than it is ever have been about you. They want to stay comfortable in their place, in their position. Because listen, the truth changes everyone. The truth changes everyone. When it says the truth sets you free, listen, have you ever seen a gate open to only one person? It changes everyone. And everybody's not ready for that. So people will paint a picture that they can sleep with at night. But here's the thing. In the court of law, you are to be tried by a jury of your peers. A peer is someone who moves in the circles you move in. Kingdom, I can hear you and I'm streaming live. Mommy mercy. A peer, I don't know why they yell through the house when they know I'm live. I cannot wait till I get a studio. Moment of Harmony is we're gonna get this studio child and we're gonna listen, bang up, rock out with our socks out. So anyway, but the jury of your peers. Peers are people who are on the same level as you. I don't care if it's a boss. I don't care if it's a parent. I didn't say the same age, but they're willing to operate in the same space as you. A peer indicates someone that is willing to level with you, come to your level or come up to your level, meet you where you are. A peer is where you are. So a jury of your peers mean people that are where you are, that are going to be looking at who you are in order to create a consensus on who you are. But we have people in our lives that are nothing like us. They never been where we've been. They couldn't live like us if we paid them to. They couldn't think like us, couldn't feel like us, couldn't behave like us. And we know it. We know it. We make them our friend. We make them our brother or our sister in community. We make them our boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife. We take them on as proteges or community children. We gave birth to some of these people that aren't like us. And we are allowing them to charge us. Or we are one of those people, which I hope you are not, where you are charging others. You are accusing them. And you are not where they are. You have not humbled yourself or remembered yourself as a child. You have not come into this relationship as seeing a partner. You are seeing someone less than you. You are a bigot, or you have biases against men of color, or men, period, or you have biases against women, period. You see things from an antiquated or dated perspective. And you are not willing to come where someone is. You are not a peer. Even in this flipped system, justice system, it says jury of your peers. Do not allow people to put you in a prison of their perspective, to try you, convict you, and arrest you to their perspective. And they don't even know you. I'll never do it again. The brother said, not again. Never do it again. I'll never sit in your prison waiting for you to hopefully see who I am to let me out. I will leave so quick. I will leave so quick. Your head will be spinning. It is not, what is new? What does Londrell say? My bestie's on the line. He says, I do not, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm drawing that. This is one of my favorite, but he says, he says, not that I demand that it is not that you should see things as I do. All I ask is that you try to. That's what he says. I do not demand that you see things as I do. All I ask is that you try to be guided by that universal light inside you. So he's saying, like, you don't have to see the world as I do. You don't have to experience life. I don't even look anymore for someone to be like me, to like me. I just look for people to like themselves, to then like me. You don't have to be like me, but do you like you? And then you can like me. And then I can like you. Because the thing is, are you guided by a truth of self? Because the accusations, the projections that we are putting out on others are coming from a lack of self inside. He says, again, Londrell, I don't ask that you see things as I do. All I ask is that you try to, first off, be guided by the universal light inside you. Have truth in self. You don't have to worry about the projections of the lies. Here's the thing that happens when people allow you, or you allow yourself to be a prison of someone's perspective. If you allow yourself to be a prisoner of someone's perspective, if you are not well and you stay connected to individuals like that, one or two things will happen. You will be in a position where you will feel like you are wrong, right? When people are saying these things about you, and I use the examples of the young people at work, or they don't appreciate their job, or they lazy, or what have you, and those things are not truths. Either people will be wrong, they'll just be the way that you have painted them to be because they believe those things about themselves after a while. They will begin to believe that they are lazy. So what's the use of putting forth effort? Because when they were putting forth effort, we called them lazy. When they were trying their hardest, we said they weren't. So people will either become wrong because you have projected them, you have painted them, you have narrated and assigned a narration to them of wrong, or they will feel wrong. So even when they aren't, and they are not going to live in that way, even when they are not going to behave a way, Like, they didn't come there to be lazy. They don't truly understand. They still trying to figure it out. They don't, everything is not clear to them yet. But you have people that will feel bad about being themselves. And so they will either stop trying to get right, which is to be wrong, or they feel wrong. And then you take from them, you distort them, and you destroy them. So understand that if someone is making you a prisoner of their perspective, they are either making you out to be wrong or feel wrong, and neither one of them are right. Okay? Neither one of them are right or all right. So we're not, you're not a jury of my peer. So you have never been on my level. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm saying that lovingly. You have never met me at my needs. You have never come to my relief. You have never stayed here in my space. You have never joined me in the beingness of harmony. Now, I'm not going to say people don't visit, because people will visit and think that they know you. People will we want to be connected to you. Look at how many of us think that we know all these celebrities. Y'all know Diddy, don't you? You know Cassie, like y'all know James Earl Jones, like you know him. John Amos, you know him. I'm not saying we can't respect and revere each other. We can't give honor and flowers, or that we can't give truth to light. Just make sure what you're giving to the light is actual truth. Because if you're giving light to a lie, then you are lighting lies in your life. It is showing who you are, which brings us to our last point, because we are going into a long moment. So thank y'all for thugging it out. We're about to get finished. It not only brings light to being dishonest. This is why our ancestors are saying, I have not falsely accused anyone. We're starting out in a proclamation, I will not falsely accuse anyone. We're ending in a declaration, I have not falsely accused anyone. I'm not going up in here and saying what somebody else was thinking and I don't know it. I'm not going to say what they said and I didn't hear it. I'm not going to say what they were doing and I haven't seen it. I'm sitting up here speculating and putting things together. I am working against the creation of life. Not only are you working against the creation, meaning that we speak things into existence, we create with our tongues. So not only am I going against things as they should be in the proper and divine order in which they should be, because I'm using manipulation and insecurity to create, I'm creating from a low vibration. Therefore, I am pulling whatever I am creating into a low vibration. Okay? The reason that we should not do that is because you cannot light a lie without lighting lies, period, in your life. So every time you accuse someone based on a deficiency inside of self, every time you gossip or convey wrong information based on an insecurity in your life, you light up your own deficiency. You light up your own insecurity, and then you perpetuate those deficiencies and insecurities in your own life. It would behoove you to speak the truth. It would behoove you to be around circles of truth, to be in environments of honesty, to be around people who see you and appreciate you and value you for who you are. Not who they want you to be, not who you're going to be, not who you should be, or who you've been. But it behooves you for people to grow with you. Because what happens is either you're not growing and you're doing the accusing and you're lighting up all of the deficiencies inside of you, or you are the victim of it, right? You become the victim. What happens when you are falsely accusing others? You are crying wolf to the universe. This is a misuse of authority. You are crying wolf to the universe. You would say, oh, this person hurt me. Oh, this person did me wrong. Oh, this person lied and deceived me. Oh, somebody took my something. Oh, somebody grabbed by this. Oh, someone did. You are yelling out. Now think of, because when we think about the story Cry Wolf, mind you, they talking about was it Jack and Jill? No, I think I'm confusing the nursery rhymes. But we talked about the little boy, I don't know what his name was, who went to the top of the hill, and because he was bored and would cry wolf for the entire town to come. Why didn't they say he yelled wolf? Why didn't they say he screamed wolf? They said he cried wolf, right? When a baby cries, everyone comes. Mama comes, daddy comes, sister comes, brother. A baby, because this is how you get attention. A cry is a sound of despair, urgency, or need. It is a cry, right? This is why they said the boy cried wolf. Despair, urgency, need. He didn't just say, hey, wolf. Guys, there's a wolf. They said he cried wolf. Many of us, by falsely accusing others, are crying wolf to the universe about our urgencies and our despairs, right? Urgency, despair, and needs, right? We are telling the creator, or we're giving out into the universe, that this has happened. This person, these people, this season, this circumstance have done this. And I'm doing this because I have an authority in my voice. So I have it. The boy that cried wolf, he knew that his voice would be a sound that will call. So he cried in his call. Baby's the same way. Baby can't say I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. So the baby knows that their authority is in the sound that they make. And it's what makes people come. When you cry wolf to the universe, you have the universe to come to your aid. When you cry out, when you shout out to thee, right? And you are behind your despair. You are behind. You're not saying, help me because I am wrong. Help me because I have taken for granted. Help me because I have been immature. Help me because I have misread. Help me because I have misused. You're not saying, help me because You're saying, help me because they. Ooh, child. Let me put some of this hair away, okay? You're saying, help me because they used me. They lied on me. They treated me. They did. Yes, I say, don't do that. Don't cry wolf to the universe, because you know what happens when people cry? Power comes. When people cry, power comes. Authority comes. Ability comes. Desires and needs come. Now, desires and needs are met. Now, if you call in on some foolishness, on some discrepancy, on some insecurity, on some falsehood, then you're going to be met with insecurity, discrepancy, and falsehood. And then when you cry out that you are in need, that you have been injusticed or disserviced, someone have acted against you, you've been attacked, you have been wronged, you are in lack of, you are destitute of, guess what? You won't get it. You won't get it. What happened to the boy that cried wolf? When the wolf really came, the town people said, we don't answer that boy cries no more. Our ancestors do not falsely accuse anyone. The day is going to come when you want to be believed, when you need to be believed, when you want to be heard, when you need to be heard, when you want to be prioritized, when you need some favor and some grace. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Do not light up lies in your life. Do not carry around a torch for dishonesty and project it onto others. And it only shows how much you are, what you are saying others are, and it also only draws in much more of what you are. So let's be great. Let's be better. Let's do better. Let's be lighter. Let's be greater. Let's be more honest. Let's be more full of greatness. Start right now today if you need to. Do not falsely portray onto others and have your tongue be a traitor to the creation of life. Speak life, be life, greet life, light life. Thank you all so much for being a part of a moment of harmony this beautiful Sunday. Oh yeah, this is a Sunday moment. I forgot to thank you guys in the beginning. Thank you for a Sunday moment. Y'all know I'm always ever grateful for Sunday moments and taking the time out to make me a part of your healthcare routine and your beautiful sacred day of Sunday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this Sunday moment. I look forward to seeing you for a moment next week. I want you to go on, especially in this beautiful day. I mean, look at the sun just keep in and out and in and out. Go on and take really good care of yourself. Take some really, really, really great care of yourself, okay? But then go on out your way and take really, really, really good care of someone else. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me for a Sunday moment of harmony. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Love, light, and liberation.